Now, part of me wishes that I had a guardian angel growing up to get me out of situations that I could not get myself out of. But at the same time, honestly, I think guardian angels are only in TV shows. Because I think there was a TV show back when I was a kid that had a guardian angel that I really wanted. It was like this really cool dude that really supported him through high school. If you guys know the show, comment it down below. But anyways, today's story is basically my worst moment in my life. You guys love these stories so much, so make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And on top of that, well, I just want to say I love you, and I'm streaming live on Kick right now as we speak. So join me live on Kick, link down below in the description. Anyways, other than that, let's get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So today's story takes place back when I was in high school. This was my grade 10 year, and honestly, I will say one thing. I was really always doing the devil's tango and talking to a bunch of different women. Now, the problem with me, though, growing up is that when I would talk to girls, I would never actually be able to understand what to do or what to say, really. Because don't get me wrong, as much as I've done the devil's tango, I would always be straight up to the point with them saying, hey, yeah, like, you down to smash? I would never actually go up to a girl and actually, like, you know, put my time and effort into them. And since I've done so many women throughout my high school at that time in grade 10, a lot of women already knew about me and were already basically disgusted by me. Because word got around that I was just trying to basically get my body count up, which, I mean, fair enough. My body count is 131 right now. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember basically one time when I went to school, there was a girl in our school that really did not know about me that much. She wasn't a new girl or anything. She's been in our school, but for some reason, she just didn't really care about drama. So me knowing that she was probably the only girl in my school that I could probably go and tap and do the devil's tango, I decided to go up to her and kind of like have a conversation with her. I remember when I went up to her, I told her, hey, like, I haven't really spoke to you. Like, what's your name? She looked at me and she said, oh, like, hi, what do you want? And she already seemed like she didn't want to talk to me. But then I decided to say that she really looked cute and, you know, I just wanted to know how she's doing. Instead of straight up asking her, hey, like, you trying to smash later? Because obviously that wasn't going to work this time. I remember she ended up starting to talk and stuff. And one thing I realized is that when you approach a woman to just basically have a normal conversation, they can go on for a rant for hours on end. But basically this girl just kept talking about family. She talked about school. She talked about her career in psychology. By the way, girls out there, why is everyone taking psychology? Like, seriously, do you really need to go in depth with men's brains? Like, that's like, seriously, all we want is that vajaja. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, not the point, but going on. I remember basically I was kind of just hanging out and basically talking to her as she just kept talking and talking. And I would always make these side comments as she was speaking going, oh yeah, cool. Okay. Oh, I understand. Oh yeah. When in reality, I had no idea what she was talking about. And then I want to say like after like 20 minutes of me standing in that hallway with her, she ended up saying, you're actually like a really good listener. Wait, I have a question. Do you have Snap? And at that point, I knew I was in and I added her on Snapchat. Don't get me wrong. I had to suffer for 20 minutes, but hey, no harm, no foul, right? At least that's what I thought. I remember later on that school day, I ended up getting a Snapchat from her and she kept messaging me about the same things she was talking about earlier. For some reason, people don't like to leave a topic alone. But then I remember I ended up telling her, oh, like, what are you doing today after school? She ended up messaging me how she was planning on basically going to hang out with her friends and stuff. And I told her, oh, like, if you want, I'm down to hang out with you. She ended up finding it weird that I wanted to hang out with her after talking to her for the first time, but at the same time, she thought it was cute. So anyways, after school that day, I remember me and her, we ended up going to the park and we ended up hanging out with her friends. Her friends seemed really odd, and honestly, I will say this much, they didn't seem to really care about me. But at the same time, though, I just wanted to speak to them and, you know, kind of get a glimpse of what girl I'm working with here. Because the girl looked attractive, but at the same time, if a girl's a certain amount of attractive, there's always a certain amount of crazy on board. So I ended up basically talking to them, and one thing they ended up telling me was that she was very possessive. Now, if you guys don't know what possessive means, basically, think of the goblin from The Hobbit. You know, the one that goes, my precious. Basically, it's one of those. So me knowing that, I thought maybe this girl would get attached to me too quickly, and I thought it would be best to back off. But as I walked up to her to tell her I was going home from hanging out with her, she ended up telling me, oh, like, do you want to like come over? Like right now? Is what I ended up telling her. And then she ended up telling me, yeah, like, let's just like hang out. Like, come on. I guess is what I said. So I remember me and her, we ended up leaving her friends and we ended up going straight to her place. When we got to her place, I realized that she lived in a very interesting home. No, it wasn't like a normal house. It was more of one of those houses that seemed really sketchy. Like, we all lived in neighborhoods, right? Now imagine like there's nice houses in the neighborhood and then there's one occasional ugly house. That was basically her house. So I remember I ended up going inside this house and I look around and I think, wow, okay, this is definitely a fixer-upper. But then afterwards, I remember I went to go sit down with her on the couch, but then she told me, oh, like, do you want to see my collection? What's your collection is what I asked her. And then that's when I realized I ended up going into her room. She opened her closet, and I look inside the closet. I'm like, what am I looking at here? Dresses? And then that's when it happened. She ended up pushing me inside the closet and closing the door. I was like, wait, what are you doing? Is what I asked. And then she's like, oh, I know who you are, Bubba, and I know what you're doing, okay? And honestly, you're gonna stay here with me, and if you want me to do it with you, you're gonna stay in there for me. Wait, what? You're locking me in here? Is what I asked her. I thought she was joking at first, so I ended up kind of moved the doorknob, but it wouldn't move. To the point where I ended up slamming it as hard as I could, and basically thinking I could probably break this door down. But then afterwards, I remember she ended up saying, don't do that. And then that's when I realized that she ended up putting like a bookshelf kind of in front of the door, so I couldn't break it down. I remember I tried to get my phone out of my pocket, but I realized that I left it in my backpack when I went to go hang out with her friends. So she had access to my phone and my backpack and my homework. Well, I don't really care about the homework, but still, she had access to all my items. At that point, I was worried, and I remember I was looking around the room trying to see what I could do to basically get out. And then that's when I realized there wasn't really anything I could do. Luckily, there was a light in there, so I remember I ended up looking at the light and basically turning it on and basically just sitting in the closet waiting for my, I guess, guardian angel to come. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I was just really scared. I want to say 4 hours went by, and I've been sitting in there hungry, and I was really upset. But then out of nowhere, I remember I ended up hearing like a computer or something. Basically, it was someone watching Victorious, the TV show. I was super confused, and I'm like, wait, I hear something. I put my ear up against the door, and I realized it was her watching a show. So I remember at that point, I ended up slamming the door as much as I could to basically make her notice that I really wanted out. And then she ended up coming up against the door saying, okay, what is it, Bubba? I'm hungry, is what I told her. So she said, okay, well, like, what do you want? McDonald's is what I said. So she ended up ordering McDonald's for me, and the way she ended up giving it to me was the most weirdest way possible. She ended up basically moving the bookshelf, opening the door super quick, and then closing it right away, and threw the bag inside of there. And since I ordered a filet-o-fish, tartar sauce got everywhere, dude. Like, it was so unfair and uncool. But I was super sad. Anyways, as I was eating my McDonald's, I was trying to think of a way to get out of there. So I thought, hey, maybe, like, you know, one of her parents will come home and, you know, they'll let me out. So I ended up basically sitting in there until I heard a voice of another person. I want to say another half an hour went by, and then afterwards, I heard another voice come in. It sounded like a guy. So I remember I ended up hearing that voice, and I started slamming the door once again. Except this time, the girl didn't come to the door to say something. It was the guy. The guy says, yo, who's in there? And I'm like, hey, like, can you let me out? I'm stuck. After I said that, he didn't say anything. I was confused. I was wondering, why is he not saying anything? And then I realized the girl ended up coming into the room saying, oh, like, just ignore that. Okay, bro. Brother? Bro? I thought she was an only child. And apparently that's when I figured out she lived with her brother. And, yeah, she had no parents. Huh. Talk about being a dumb orphan. Sorry. I love orphans. Like, Batman's an orphan, and I love Batman. But going on with the story, I remember as I was panicking, freaking out, not knowing what to do. But then I heard my phone ring, and that's when I realized that my phone was ringing. And the reason I knew it was my phone is because I have Swervin' by Boogie with a Hoodie and 6ix9ine as my ringtone. Actually, I still have it to this day. So I remember when I heard my phone ring, I was upset, and I was getting upset, like really mad, to the point where I knew I needed to get out of there. So I ended up making a plan. I remember I ended up slamming the door as much as I can. It was super late at night. I want to say I was in there for more than over 10 hours. And I remember I was slamming the door, and I guess it was super late. And then I remember out of nowhere, the girl ends up saying, what do you want? In her tired voice. And I end up saying, I'm hungry again, please. She ended up going to get food, and she brought me cereal. Except this time, when she opened the door, she opened it really slowly. So that took me enough time to basically slam the door with my shoulder as much as I can, opening the door and tackling her and basically grabbing my stuff and leaving as fast as I could. And that wasn't even the scariest part. The scary part was that her brother heard what was going on and ended up chasing me outside when I grabbed all my stuff. Luckily, my phone was in my bag and she didn't touch it, so there wasn't really that much stuff to grab. It was really just grabbing my backpack with everything in it. And as I was running with my bag in my hand, I was sprinting for my life. I kept running and running and running until I ran all the way home. It was like a 30-minute drive, but I ended up running it in like 10 minutes. I don't know. I guess I was Sonic or something. And then that's when I realized when I got home, I knocked on my door. And when I knocked on the door, a police officer answers it saying, are you Bubba? Yeah, is what I said. And then that's when I went in there and told the statement. And the next day, the girl ended up getting arrested for kidnapping me. Since, you know, I was still a kid. Honestly, I'll say this much. Part of me wishes I had a guardian angel. Okay, so something tells me getting locked into a room with a girl is sometimes beneficial, but at the same time, really awkward. Like, don't get me wrong. I've done 7 minutes in heaven before. If you guys haven't seen that video, then go check it out. But honestly, getting trapped in the janitor's closet, well, that's a whole different category. But as usual, before I do get into the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And right now, as I'm speaking to you guys, I am currently live on my YouTube channel, Bubba Gaming. So make sure you guys do watch me live if you guys want to see these live story times live in action as you guys interact with me and I tell you guys some more crazy stories like this one. Also, I'm live on Twitch. But other than that, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another crazy video. So this video takes place back when I was in high school, and funny enough, this was my actual grade 11 year. So if you guys already know, you guys are big fans of the channel already, you guys would know at this point in time, I was already pulling girls left and right. Like seriously, for me to get the devil's tango, I would just need to have like one conversation with a girl and that's it. It's done. Anyways, going on, I remember one time there was a girl in my socials class that was really attractive. And me, I obviously wanted to like get with her and stuff and, you know, talk to her because obviously that was like who I was in high school. But obviously me being kind of nervous, it kind of like made things harder on me because like I wasn't nervous to talk to her. It's just handling rejection back when I was in high school in grade 11 was not really common for me since I pulled so many girls. So it was kind of just like awkward to like see where it would go if I did talk to her and stuff. But obviously I did what I always do. And before class started, I walked up to the girl and said, hey, like, how's it going? She looked at me all awkwardly, knowing that she already knew who I was apparently. And she was like, so, what's going on? Like, you good? And I'm like, what do you mean I'm good? I just said hi. And she looks at me all funny. She's like, okay, sure. Like, whatever. Just like, do your thing, I guess. Okay. I found it really awkward how she said that to me, but then it makes sense later on the story. Going on, I remember I was kind of just like trying to have a conversation with her, but then randomly out of nowhere, the bell rang. And when the bell rings, our socials teacher was really strict on like, you know, basically getting ready, sitting down and just paying attention to the front of the class. And if you didn't do that, for some reason, our teacher would automatically send us to the office. So me standing up still beside this girl, trying to like have a conversation with her as the bell rang. I remember our teacher walked up in front of the class and saw me still standing up beside this girl saying, Bubba, take a seat right now. We're starting class. Don't you understand that? Did you not hear the bell ring? Are you going deaf, Bubba? I instantly sat down beside the girl, and right as that happened, the girl was really annoyed that I sat down beside her. She was like, couldn't move away any faster. Like, are you serious? You couldn't just sit one seat away from me? I looked at her and I just straight up said, what's your problem? Like, why do you actually like hate me? And she's like, well, it's not that I hate you. It's just you're annoying. Sure. Okay. I'm annoying. I don't know. I found it really awkward as she found me annoying. So me knowing that, I kind of just thought my chances were a loss and I started just ignoring her. Now, this is a really good tactical method for any men out there that really want to pull girls. And I'm going to make a video about how to pull girls. But basically, if a girl finds you attractive, but finds you annoying, ignore her. That way you are basically doing the opposite of what she's annoyed by. And then she finds you just attractive. It's kind of just like a comical science. But anyways, going on though, I remember me and this girl were basically like not talking to each other, ignoring each other, and basically doing our own thing. But for some reason, she really wanted still attention from me because I guess she enjoyed the attention. So she started talking to me as I would ignore her. Then she asked me, okay, like, what's your problem? Like, seriously, like, do you just not like me now? Like, what's the issue? Like, seriously, is this what you do to every girl? Like, who do you think you are? Trying to pull every excuse in the book for me to talk to her. And then I remember I turned my head and said, oh, like, sorry, I thought I was like annoying you or something. I didn't know if I was allowed to talk to you. She found that kind of cute and she's like, okay, you know what? Like, here, give me your phone. I ended up giving her my phone, me thinking that she was gonna give me her Snapchat. She ended up giving me her phone number and she added herself on Facebook. Apparently this girl did not have Snapchat. Apparently she had like previous issues with like her like photos getting leaked throughout the school. So me knowing that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I guess I know what I'm not getting. And then I ended up just getting her phone number. Class ended that time. And when I got her phone number, I basically walked away and went to my next class and started walking. But as I started walking to my next class, I remember out of nowhere, the girl that gave me her number ended up going up to her friend group and basically all of them were giggling, smiling, and being happy. I guess in a way it was like my own little fan club. I have no idea because I didn't really want to intrude on what was going on. But then out of nowhere, for some reason, when I was walking towards my next class, one of the girls that was like really shy but really quiet and doesn't really say much, nor have I ever hit her up before, walks up to me saying, hey, like, you better like watch your back. I'm just gonna say that now because those girls got something planned that I don't think you're gonna like. What is what I said? I was so confused and I had no idea what she was talking about, but I just kept walking my next class. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care. So as I was walking, I remember I basically entered my classroom. I ended up sitting down and talking to all the boys in my law class. I remember my phone vibrated and I pulled out my phone and saw that I got a text message already from the girl that gave me her number. The message said, hey, like, what you up to? How's your class? Good? Question mark is what I said. And then she ended up saying, hey, so like, I want to punish you for you not like talking to me the entire class. Like, that really hurt my feelings. What is what I said? I'm like, you want to punish me? And out of nowhere, I remember my buddy beside me, he looks over at the phone. He's like, you have a girl that wants to punish you, bro? It was the funniest thing. And I kind of started giggling. And then she instantly messaged me saying, stop giggling and come on to your classroom. Instantly, I look out the door where like basically like beside like our doors in the classroom, there was like a little window. And she was like standing right there staring me down. And I saw she was there. So I remember I put my hand up. I'm like, hey, like, can I go to the bathroom? My teacher obviously didn't want me leaving, but he's like, yeah, sure, you're annoying enough. And basically I ended up standing up and going outside the classroom and meeting up with her. I straight up told her, what are you doing here? Like, what? She comes close to me. She's like, you know, there's a lot of things I've heard about you. And first I was annoyed by you, but like something tells me you got something bigger you're hiding. Bigger I'm hiding? What do you mean? And instantly from there, I remember this girl ends up grabbing my wrist and walking me over to a different room. And this room was not like a classroom or anyway. Like it literally, I think it was the janitor's closet because it smelled like bleach and like cleaning products. And as we went in there, I remember I just saw a bunch of cleaning products on the wall and like a mop on the side with like that little bin where you put the mop in going squish, 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 squish. And basically I looked at her and I'm like, what are we doing here? She closes the door. And from there, me and her, let's just say we had our own little 7 minutes in heaven because she came close to me and one thing led to another. We ended up doing the Devil's Tango. Yeah, we did the Devil's Tango in the janitor's closet. I know, a little insane, but it is what it is. Anyways, going on with the story. I remember as I was going down, we were in there for, I want to say like the rest of the period. So I never ended up going back to my law class. But then when the bell rang and I knew I had to get to my next class because I had PE, I instantly started trying to open the door and it wouldn't open. The door wouldn't open. I tried opening it as much as I could and nothing. I was so stressed out. And I remember I looked at the girl. I'm like, why isn't the door opening? She's like, oh, like, let me give it a try. She tries opening the door as she's putting on her clothes and still nothing. At this point, I was stressing out because I knew I had to get to class, but I couldn't get to class because I was locked in the janitor's closet with this chick that literally just did the Devil's Tango with me. So at this point, I had no idea what to do. I didn't know if I should stay there. I didn't know if I should, you know, cry for help. I didn't know if I wanted to, you know, basically get in trouble. I had no idea. So I remember what me and this girl decided to do is basically just sit down and just wait. I remember I ended up pulling out my phone because I had my phone out and I basically started trying to like text my friends to like help me get out. But all my friends were in PE class, so there was no way they were going to see their phones because they don't carry their phones when they're doing PE. And if you carry your phone while you're doing PE class, you're really weird, by the way. And I remember I was just basically stuck in a sticky situation, or in this way, a cleaning product situation. Get it? See what I was trying to do there? Never mind. Going on. I remember later on throughout the day, I think like almost an hour and a half passed. The bell rang to the next class and basically it was lunchtime. And as I was sitting there waiting for my buddy to like come get me or seeing at least someone see the text messages, this girl was straight up just trying to talk to me the whole time about life. And it was the most awkwardest thing. But we ended up being in there for, I want to say almost like the rest of the school day. And what this girl just kept wanting to do was do the Devil's Tango. And apparently for some reason her legs were numb after we did the Devil's Tango for like the third time in there because we had nothing else to do while we were waiting. Like it's not like I was gonna drink bleach or something. So we were just all like sitting in there just not knowing what to do. Anyways, going on from there, basically all I'm gonna say was that the way we ended up getting out was that the janitor in the school ended up actually like opening the door randomly at a random moment, and he ended up seeing me and her in there, and he straight up looked inside and saying, oh, I didn't know we hired new janitors in here, eh? Yeah, it was embarrassing. So me and her, we instantly ran out of class. I went to my law class, picked up my stuff. She instantly went back to her classroom and picked up her things. Our teachers were still in the classroom because it was only like an hour after school ended. For some reason, teachers like to stay and do work. And yeah, we had to explain to our teachers how basically we decided to skip all of class together and all that crazy stuff. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And once again, I am live right now on YouTube, so go watch the live channel on Bubba Gaming. Other than that, like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys. Also, follow me on Instagram. Bye. 7 minutes in heaven. This story is one of the most insane stories that I'm probably gonna ever tell in this channel. But before I do get into the story, I just want to mention that you guys should really quickly leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And did I mention I'm live on Twitch as we speak right now? So I am literally live. Make sure you guys go click the link down in the description below and watch me live streaming to you guys and telling more of these insane stories. Also, not to mention as well, you guys should definitely go watch the Fortnite girlfriend series on the Bubba channel. Seriously, I'm stuck with my Fortnite girlfriend. She's currently living with me and she's probably with me live as well. So if you guys do want to go check out the Fortnite series, click in the description down below as well and go into the Bubba channel and check out what's going on there. Other than that, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another insane story. So recently, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, you guys have been crushing with these stories, and there's one story I haven't told yet because, well, it's a pretty basic story, and I think we all know the game 7 Minutes in Heaven. If you guys don't know the game, basically you get a chick or a guy, or I don't know which way you swing, and basically you go into a closet with them for 7 minutes, and whatever happens in those 7 minutes can be anything. You guys could kiss, you guys could cuddle, you guys could talk about your dirtiest secrets, or you guys could just do what I do all the time and just straight up do the Devil's Tango. Because, well, yeah, what else is there to do in a small closet? But there's one particular time where 7 Minutes in Heaven did not come by my side was the worst time. And I'll tell you guys, and it all started starts in the very beginning. I remember back when I was in high school, this was my grade 11 year, and I was just a basic kid in grade 11. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I was known by a lot of girls for doing the Devil's Tango, but at the same time, I was a basic dude. And I remember basically going to go hang out with my friends and stuff, because I do have a couple of guy groups I would go hang out with and just, you know, be hanging out with the boys. If you guys don't know, the boys are like a common thing that everyone has. But I remember one of the boys came up to me, and it was just a simple guy. It was kind of a cool friend. He walked up to me saying, yo, Baba, like, bro, like, I'm having a party at my place, bro. Like, it's gonna be a really good party. Like, can you please, like, come and hang out as well? I remember I looked at him and I'm like, bro, like, what do you mean it's a party? Like, how many people is it? He ended up saying, dude, there's like gonna be like 15 people so far, but I know if you go, then I can get more chicks going. You know what I'm saying? Basically, what I meant by that was basically if I went to the party, more girls would end up going, because, well, if you guys don't know, like I said earlier, I was a lady slayer. A lot of girls knew that I was really good at doing the Devil's Tango. So in a way, I mean, you know, I guess they all want a piece of the pie, or the eggplant, or the watermelon. I don't know. There's a lot of fruits out there, okay? Anyways, I remember telling him, you know what? Yeah, sure, buddy. I'll go. I'm down to go. We can go chill and stuff, and yeah, it's gonna be lit. I'm down. What time do I head out there? He told me, yo, just be there at like 7 o'clock, and yeah, just bring whoever you want, man. You got free entry. I said bet, and then yeah, basically he invited me to the damn party. It was pretty chill and it was pretty awesome. You know, me getting invited to it. But I remember as I started walking away and heading to my next class, there was another chick that walks up to me, and this chick was no ordinary chick. This chick was actually, funny enough, the party host's ex-girlfriend. So remember, the person that just invited me to the party, yeah, this is his ex-girlfriend walking up to me. She walked up to me and she's like, oh my goodness, like, did he literally just invite you to his party? And are you actually gonna be ending up going? I ended up telling her, yeah, I'm going. Like, why not? He's like, he's my bro, you know, like, why not? And after that, she tells me, Baba, you know, he only wants you there because of the girls, right? And I told him, so I generally don't care. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't care. Like, I had no idea why she was complaining. And then she tells me, okay, well, like, if you're gonna go, then like, let me go with you. As she comes up closer to me and basically, you know, putting her arm around my waist, I push her off and say, yo, you need to chill. I know what you're trying to do. Like, I'm not like that. And then she basically ends up looking at me with her wide eyes open saying, please just let me go with you. Like, come on. Like, I haven't been to his house in forever. And like, you know, I do really need a good party ever since we broke up. Sure. That's literally what I said. I said, sure. Honestly, I don't know why I did. You guys can hate me in the comments down below, but like, I said, sure. Honestly, I didn't care. So I remember she was all smiling and giggling and she's like, oh my goodness, like, yes, you're taking me. And then she says, okay, well, like, can you pick me up at like 7 o'clock with your car? I ended up telling her, yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll pick you up. And she got all excited and ended up walking away. When she walked away, I remember I kind of just like started walking like to my next class again. And basically from there, I remember my buddy ended up walking up to me again, the guy who invited me in the first place, saying, yo, like, is it true? Like, you're bringing my ex-girlfriend? I ended up telling him like, yeah, bro, like, don't worry. Like, you guys broke up like months ago. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not even gonna try anything. She just wants to go to the party. And then he said, oh, okay, that's chill. But like, as long as like you guys don't do anything, cause like, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up telling him, don't worry. Me and her won't do anything at all. I promise. Yeah, basically that's what I told him. I promised him. And reminder, I'm a man of my word. I don't like breaking promises, but at the same time, just remember I said that, okay? Just remember what the title of this video is. Going on though, I remember after, you know, the next day, I remember the party was happening. It was the day of the party. Everyone at school was all excited and stuff. And, you know, we ended up getting more than 50 people going. So it was gonna be an actual party, not like a Getty with like less than 20 people. I remember all hyped up and excited. And I remember the school day ends. We all go home. We all get ready. I end up snapping the chick saying, yo, I'm gonna like pick you up at this time. Like, be ready. She gets all hyped up. She's like, oh my God, like, I'll be ready. And like, you know, she's all excited and stuff. Me, I generally didn't care. I kind of just wore tight jeans and I think a flannel. I wore a flannel. I definitely wore a flannel knowing me back in high school. And basically from there, I ended up going to my car in my blue Toyota Silica, driving to her house, picking her up. And she was wearing a really tight outfit. Like, holy cow. Like, you can see Mount Columbus and basically Mount Everest down there. Like, she was wearing a tight outfit. And from there, I remember we ended up going to my buddy's place and we were all there. There was like 50 people. We were all drinking, hanging out, basically all having a good time. Now, this is where the funniest part happens, I think. And this is where things get really weird. I remember during the party, things were like kind of like getting slow and stuff. And then I remember my buddy walked up to me. He's like, dude, like, we should do something. What should we do? And then some nitwit at the party, and this guy was like absolutely like a dummy. Like, he looked dumb, okay? Like, he was definitely like in some way weird. Comes up to us and he's like, dude, like, we could play like a game together. Like, let's play like 7 minutes in heaven. What? We want to play 7 minutes in heaven? What are we, 12? Is what I told him. But then he's like, nah, like, trust me, it'll be fun. It'll make us like get more closer with the girls. That was the most creepiest thing I think anyone's ever said. But I said, sure, whatever. I remember the host of the party ends up standing on top of his table, his like little coffee table that he stood on, where there was like a bunch of beer cans already. By the way, don't underage drink. Not a good idea. And he says, yo, everyone come together. We're gonna do 7 minutes in heaven. Yeah, everyone looked at each other and they're like, seriously? And some of the girls actually got excited, funny enough. So we all ended up getting in a circle and we basically all started talking and playing. We ended up spinning the bottle. We ended up doing all that weird stuff. And basically we spun the bottle to another person. Basically they would get up, they would go to the closet. They would be there for like 7 minutes. God knows who knows what they were doing. Like it got to a point where a girl had to readjust her bra. So you already know something was going on. And basically it ended up going again and again into a cycle. I remember as I was sitting down there, I was sitting beside my buddy, and basically I spun the bottle because it was my turn. And when I spun it, I remember it landed on a chick, but it wasn't any chick. And reminder, I promised my friend that I would never do anything with his ex-girlfriend, but the bottle landed on his ex-girlfriend. So I had no idea what to do at this moment. I remember I looked at him and he ended up staring me down with like dead beating eyes saying, better not do anything, bro. That's my ex, bro. And I looked at him like, dude, I'm not gonna do anything. I won't do anything. I won't even lay a hand on her. Reminder, I said I wouldn't lay a hand. So I remember me and her, we stood up. We went inside this guy's closet. I'm not gonna lie, the closet smelled like absolute garbage and it smelled like devil's tango. So we're just sitting in there. We're not sitting, we're standing up close to each other. And she's like telling me, like, as we're close up to each other, she's like, so like, what do you want to do? I ended up looking at her and I'm like, oh, well, you're kind of my friend's ex. So like, I don't know if there's any good idea to actually do. She ends up getting closer and she's like, I can think of an idea to do. And yeah, she ended up grabbing my eggplant and one thing led to another. We ended up doing the devil's tango. But reminder, I won't lie to you guys. I kept my word. I put my hands behind my back and I didn't do anything. She did everything. I didn't do anything. And on top of that, not to mention, I mentioned I wouldn't lay a hand, not an eggplant. So yeah, that happened. And then the closet door opened. I ended up going out and she ended up putting on her pants again. And when she was readjusting her pants, let's just say my buddy knew that something went down and he kept asking me throughout the entire night, what happened. And I said the same thing I said to him before I even got into that closet. Dude, I promise you, I didn't lay a hand on her. Yeah, that's basically it. Honestly, there's always loopholes to what you could say, which goes to your word, but at the same time, it's better to be safe than sorry. Other than that, 7 Minutes in Heaven, still an iconic game, still play it to this day. I play with my Fortnite girlfriend a lot, but yeah, other than that, that's basically it. All right, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And on top of that, did I mention to go subscribe to all the new channels are out? Bubba channel, go subscribe. Bubba Gaming, go subscribe. Crazy gaming content going on there soon. And I'm live on Twitch, so go click the link down in the description below. And like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.
Let's go. Should I make it a story? Let's click record. Got that TikTok with 2 mil hit different with some more. She said she loved me.